Hey there, how you doing? Welcome to my podcast, The Facts, because here we always give 100% facts. And the facts you're going to get today, we're going to be talking about laparoscopy. So tune in. You're going live with Angel Ortega just shortly. All right. Now, as we get started here, my little segment we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be going the route with laparoscopy here. And to those who don't know what a laparoscopy is in surgery, it's like a very it's a fiber optic instrument. It's inserted through an abdominal wall to view like organs and inside the abdominal stuff like that. Not just that, but also used for there's some VATS procedures that are done with it. But the purpose of it is it's just to view organs and stuff like that. So what I'm pretty sure the question's going through your head right now is like, why would somebody need a laparoscopy? Procedure done. So pretty much, what this thing does is sometimes X-ray and CT scans are not nearly as clear as they could possibly be. So the laparoscopy is pretty much is able to go in like a two keyhole kind of like incision within the abdomen, and it could pop in like let's throw an example out there. We could be trying to determine the stage of cancer, or looking for a specific abdominal organ, something that an X-ray CT can't give. Otherwise, checking for abdominal injury as well. So they could see where the injury and how deep it is and stuff like that. So now that we got that covered, so now what type of procedures are we thinking about here that this device does? I can name a few here. We'll go. We got a rectoplexy. Pretty much that's a rectal prolapse repair. A cystectomy. Bladder removal. A prostatectomy. That's prostate removal. Nephrectomy, kidney removal. Splendectomy, spleen removal, and the list just goes on. It goes on and on and on. So, so now we're going to go into, I believe we want to talk. I got to speak with, today actually I'm actually someone who actually knows a great deal about a lot of the things here that we're talking about, laparoscopies here. Her name is Linda Kopetecki or Koptek. I think I'm saying it right. It's Koptich. She is actually a manager for sterile processing department at Advocate Aurora St. Luke's. So she's very, very, very knowledgeable. And I actually got to sit down and talk to her and ask some questions about. So the one thing I know, I was wondering is I know like these are very expensive a piece of machines, So these prices vary from a set. Like I think it all goes back to like brand names, Like I'm taking a look here, and I have under thank you for smoothsurgical.com. They have the laparoscopic instrument set. I believe it's called Esculap, AESCULAP. That's a brand. This is pretty expensive for a laparoscopic set. It's $4,595. And then if I look over to a 25-piece laparoscopic surgery set, 3mm times 330mm, and this is on eBay from Mina Surgical. This one's $648 for a 25-piece. And I'll read off another one. This one is coming from Medical Device Depot. This is a Skylar laparoscopic brand instrument set. This one's like $8,000, $37.87. So I think it all depends, some have the best quality, brand name stuff like that. So, so actually, I got to sit down and I was actually talking to Linda here. Like I said, again, she's a sterile processing department manager, and I had asked her. I said the laparoscopic instruments. I said, walk me through this here. How do we make sure that these things are capable of staying, tip top, making sure that they're okay. And she went on to tell me, and she gave me some stuff, some insights. So, but I also wanted to do a little research myself. So, thank you to Springer Link here. This is Mastering Endo, Laparoscopic, and Thoracic Scalpic Surgeries, Care and Handling of Laparoscopic Information. So everything she pretty much told me in our interview, it's pretty much it. So one of the main things that they're concerned about when they reprocess these things, these instruments, is you have to be careful here with them because these are very expensive and very delicate telescopes, And I had asked Linda, I said, if we reprocess, how often do we have to inspect? And she said and she replied about we have to inspect to the highest urgency. And so pretty much I said, Linda, what are we inspecting for? And Linda said, we want to pay attention to the insulation. She said those should be respected. Those should be inspected regularly for any scratches, dents, or other flaws. Otherwise, you should be testing it for its functional integrity. The eyepiece should be examined to evaluate the clarity of the image from the reflected light. So I said, Linda, what's so important about the insulation here? So she says, if the insulation is damaged and it's not holding up like it should, that current that goes through for the light, I'm assuming, the electrical surgical current, when that's in a patient, and if the insulation is not caught, that could cause severe burns to the patient from electrical current, So, and I said, Linda, how do you determine that with just, your eyes? And she said, you don't. They have insulation tester. And what they do is they slide it through here, and they test it. So I said, Linda, so what is this? What's the whole point of this machine? So she said the machine is designed practically for electrical testing, electrical surgical instruments, the low frequency, high voltage insulation testers. It detects, and locates defects, such as pinholes, cracks, and bare spots in the jacket or coating of laparoscopic and bipolar electrical surgical instruments. So I wanted to make sure that we were on point with that. So I did some research myself, and thank you to Healthmark Industries. I was able to determine that, that Linda hit it right on the money, as well as they had on their site. And I'm going to thank Healthmark Industries for their information. I really appreciate it. But I guess, and, it's not just that, but, we also, it's like the care of handling. She also mentioned about the care of handling with light cables, light cables. So that's always a big important thing here. So laparoscopic instrumentation is the use of light source, cable transmitted through the telescope to view the operative field. Light cables are made of 100 glass fibers to transmit the light, and these fibers can be broken if the cable is dropped, kinked, bent, or extreme angles. So, now we can, I said, Linda, so what happens if any of this is actually damaged? What do we do with this? So Linda said simply that, they would have to send it out if this, if the insulation jacket is not good on that, or if these lights are damaged, that they would have to, send it out to get repairs. And I'm pretty sure that's a pretty steep. They couldn't give me a number, but I'm assuming. I had a friend who is in school for, I think he's in Minnesota. He goes to St. Paul College, and he found this article. I was trying to ask him about something. And I was looking at, and this thing, and so this is a big thank you, a big shout out to um, the my my hspa.org. Um, it's pretty much they give you like a rundown of like the surgical instrument repairs and stuff like that. So I was able to find something. I'm not trying to take too much time because we got about like 4 minutes left, but pretty much like it says, like if a hospital is performing nearly over 100,000 surgeries a month, spends in excess of 300,000 a year for instrument repair and replacement. That is a lot of money. So could you imagine how many, of these laparoscopic instruments that are being used a month? I couldn't even give you a number, but I'll keep reading. It's just like, repaired instruments is found average repair costing 2768.75 per instrument. So it gets, and repairing the instruments 3 to 5 times a year and replacing them once because they were too damaged to repair quickly accounted for larger portions of the budget. So just by that, that's like a perfect example of like, that's other surgical instruments, but I want you to understand, like, now let's go back to like when I was telling you like how much a whole set costs. So could you imagine like paying that like paying like $8,000 for a laparoscopic set, and then you have to like they get damaged in like being reprocessed and this and that, and it's like like you're spending all that money for repairing a brand new one, so you're dropping a lot of money. And like I said, we don't know how many laparoscopic procedures are done a month. It could be 1,000, it could be 1,500, it could be 2,000. So in repairs, they're probably dropping at least almost 1 million, possibly. And I'm not reading that from any article. That's just me making a guess. All right. So then, what I want to do is I want to take away from that, because I know we're running out of time. We got about like 3 minutes for this segment. So I was able to talk to another guy. His name is Wade Lentz. He also works at Advocate Aurora St. Luke's Medical Center, and he is the inventory purchaser down there for the sterile processor. So I had asked him, I said, and he works with a lot of these people in, I said, what are the solutions that we could do to avoid spending that kind of money on the laparoscopic instruments, laparoscopy? What can we do here? What can we do to save on money? And he came up with some pretty good, answers, and he's like, one thing he always noticed when he pays attention to the sterile processors down there when they're cleaning, he said they like to squeeze and stretch, but also, so he gave me a couple of good, bullet points he gave me. So avoid squeezing, stretching, or sharply bending the cable. Grasp a connector piece when inserting or removing the light cord from the light source. Never pull the cable directly when disconnecting it from the light source. Avoid puncturing the cable with towel clips when securing the cable so the surgical drape. Do not turn on the light source before connecting the light cable to the telescope to prevent igniting a fire or a surgical drape. Inspect the cable for broken fibers before each use. Inspect both ends. Be ensured a clean, reflective, and polished surface. And wipe the fiber optic light cable gently to remove all blood and organic materials immediately after using a mild detergent. But that's just like, cleaning. So he kind of just gave me like, a whole list. So it's like, I get it. So like, I guess it all goes back to like caring and handling of the laparoscopic instruments, we have to care, and people have to they have to take their time with that. So, I had found all this very, very interesting, and I think that we should maybe when it comes time, maybe if we followed the IFUs, the manufacturer IFUs, we could spare, we could spare, the cost of surgical instruments, proper care and handling of laparoscopic instruments can help prevent malfunctions and rapid deterioration, which, eliminates costly repairs and replacements. Every member, I think every member should play a part in that. And I think they should collaborate to achieve this important goal to ensure delivery of the safest and highest quality of patient care, because that's what really counts. But thank you. That's it for this segment. My name is Angel Ortega. You just got done listening to The Facts.